This time on Camp Outside, we are doing a rod and reel combo review video. We're going to take a look at the Penn Fierce IV LE combo. This is a medium light 7-foot rod with a 3000 reel. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Today we are doing a rod and reel combo review. We're going to review the Penn Fierce IV LE rod combo. This is a 3000 size reel. And guys, I did a full in-depth review on this reel. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to put a link right up here where you can check that out. It is a full in-depth review of the Penn Fierce IV in the 3000 size, but I also talk about their whole lineup of reels and my thoughts on that reel. So I don't want to totally rehash it here. Might talk about a few things there, but definitely if you're really interested in the reel, watch that video. And then the rod is a 7-foot one piece. It's medium light, and I'll just read the specs here. So it's a 7-foot medium light, fast action, 8 to 15 pound monofilament rated line, or 8 to 20 pound braid. And the lure rating is 1/8 to 3/4 ounce lures. And guys, this is a guideline, right? But it's a really good guideline. I recommend that people follow that advice, right? Sure, you could spool this reel up with 65 pound braid and go after monsters, but you run the chance of breaking the rod before the line if you truly, get into something heavy. And then even with the lures, right? If you're casting a, 1.5 ounce lure and you're casting it really hard, right? You're really trying to get distance and you're flinging it out there. The weight, suspended from the tip of the rod could actually break the rod. So you always want to follow the lure weight recommendations. But aside from that, so let's talk about the reel really quickly. And again, watch the review of the reel if you want, but it's a 6.2 to 1 ratio reel, which I absolutely love. This reel is all metal construction. It's heavy, right? It's a heavy reel, really solid, really well-built reel. If you're going after big fish or you want an all metal reel, this is a pretty good one. I'm pretty pleased with it. It has a braid-ready spool. Of course, you can always run monofilament backer. I recommend that you do that. Filling these things straight up with braid is a waste of money because braid is expensive. I really love the handle on this thing. So let me turn this around without breaking the rod tip on the ceiling. I'm inside today because the weather here in Florida is terrible. But nice big handle, EVA foam handle, good grip. This reel feels really, really comfortable. And I think that it's pretty well sealed, which is great for saltwater, right? So, you can fish freshwater gear in saltwater. You just need to maintain it. But guess what? You also need to maintain your saltwater gear in saltwater. Saltwater corrodes and eats everything. Nothing will last if you don't maintain it when you use it in saltwater. And that includes saltwater reels and saltwater rods, okay? So just keep that in mind. But great reel, 15 pounds of drag. It holds like 250 yards of 15-pound braid if you spool it up, without backer. That's a ton of braid, guys. You don't need that much. So that's pretty much the reel. And like I said, if you really want to get into it, check out my reel review video. Let's talk about the rod. Let's spend some time talking about the rod. So one of the things I really like that Penn did with this is they put Win grips on these. And I think that Win is more known for I don't know whether it's golf clubs or tennis rackets or something, but basically it's designed so that when your hands are wet or sweaty, you're still going to have a good grip on the rod. And that's pretty important, guys. I like to have a good grip on the rod no matter what condition I'm fishing in. And so I do have a couple of rods with Win grips, and I do like them. And the Win grips, let me see if I can get it in here, make sure you can see it, is overlaid on top of like EVA foam. So that's the foregrip and then the rear grip. And it is a split grip rod, guys, and so the butt is just EVA, which is fine. You don't need the Win grip down there. But I do like it. It's nice, and I think it's durable, guys. I think it's going to hold up a long time. It has a, just a standard reel seat, so it's not an ergonomic reel seat. I have become a fan of ergonomic reel seats, but I have plenty of rods that still have this style of reel seat, and it's just fine. For those of you who watch my channel, you know that I absolutely love a hook keep, and this rod has one, so that's good. If your rod doesn't have a hook keep, what's my standard joke? Get a new rod. No, I'm just kidding. You can, and I mean, I always love getting new rods. But a hook keep is really nice because it gives you a place to store your bait. In the olden days, we used to just hang our hooks on the guide, right? I mean, I grew up doing that. But what happens when you do that is that it will nick the guide, right? The hook will nick the guide, and then that will cause a spot where your line can fray, and then it weakens the line. And then when you hook into that fish of a lifetime and you lose it because you were hooking your hook to the guide instead of the hook keep, well, you really only have yourself to blame. If your rod doesn't have a hook keep, you can always hook to the guide frame, just not into the guide, right? So just keep that in mind. Guys, this rod is, like as I said, it's a 7-foot one piece. And I have the specs over here on my iPad, so I want to read some things to you just to make sure I get it right. And oh, by the way, guys, Penn has a number of versions of their Fierce 4 combos, right? They have the LE version, which is the version I have. They have a live liner version, which has a live liner reel, not this reel, but their live liner version of the Fierce reel. And then they have a standard, which has a full grip. And I think the standard is really designed for the bigger Fierce reels. So if you're looking for the combo that's really kind of best for inshore, fishing, like flats fishing, or you want to go beat the mangroves for snook and redfish, you want to fish for flounder, you want to do, your flats fishing, I think what you're really going to want is the LE version of this combo. So let me just go over some of the rod specs here. So I'm just kind of read off my iPad here. It is a graphite composite rod, and it features one-piece stainless steel Dura guides. So these are they're one piece, which is nice. So one of the things about guides is that a lot of guides are two-piece. They have the guide frame, and then they have an insert that sits in the guide frame that the line runs through. These are a one-piece guide, and what I like about that is that when you're hard on fishing rods, and it's hard not to be hard on fishing rods because you have to get them to and from the water, and so they're being loaded in the boat or loaded in the truck or whatever you're doing, and the guides can take a beating, and sometimes those guide inserts pop out. With a one-piece guide, there's no chance of that. If you break the guide is gone. But if you have an insert and you just pop the insert out, a lot of times you have to either replace the guide or get rid of the fishing rod. And it all depends on the value of the fishing rod, guys, right? If you're going to take it to a tackle shop and pay, $20-30 to have a guide put back on the rod, and the rod's only worth $30 to $50, is it worth it? Well, it's up to you. If you have a more expensive rod, then obviously putting a new guide on every once in a while is probably worth it to you. But this rod has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guides and a tip for 8 total guides. That is a nice amount of guides for this rod. Oftentimes the less expensive rods out there will have less guides. The more guides you have, typically the more the rod is in touch with the line, which basically helps with sensitivity and bite detection and that kind of thing, as well as fighting the fish. The more guides you have, though, means the more friction of the line going through the guides as you cast, which can decrease casting distance. So you want to make sure that you have good guides and that they're properly sized. And in this case, I think this rod does a pretty good job of that. So let's talk about cost, right? So I did a review on this reel, and as I said in that review, this reel retails for $99.95, right? The combo itself, this combo right now retails on Penn's website for $139.99. So if I do some quick math, that really just kind of tells me that it's basically a $40 fishing rod. For $40, I think you get a lot of rod, right? I think this is a pretty decent rod for $40. And what I mean by that is if you were to go to the store and you were to spend $40 on a fishing rod, whether that's at Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's or Academy or Walmart or whatever, if you were to go find a fishing rod that was $40, I don't think that it would be as good as this rod. So, that's just something to consider. If you're just looking for a combo, right, you want the rod and the reel all together and you don't want to have to think about it and pairing, rods and reels and all that stuff. This is a pretty good choice. If you've already settled on the Penn Fierce IV reel, why not get the rod that was designed for the reel? Now, if you want a higher performing rod, right, there are some really good rods out there. If you want a higher performing rod, then there are some really good ones on the market that you might want to consider. And Penn is owned by Pure Fishing, and Pure Fishing has some really, really good rod companies. One of my favorites is Fenwick. So if you wanted to match this reel with like a Fenwick HMG or something like that, that would be a really nice rod combination. But if you're just looking for the combo, guys, I don't think that you can do a lot better than this rod in its price class. I do have something that I wasn't thrilled about though, guys, and in the interest of being fully transparent, right, I want to tell you what I like and what I don't like, right? And as I said in the reel video, it's a heavy reel, right? And so I am used to fishing with lightweight reels. And the reason why I do that is because I'm typically fishing artificials, and so I'm making 500 casts in a day or more. And when you're making that many casts, ounces matter. And so if you're gonna fish artificial lures and you're casting a lot, you're probably gonna want something that's lighter weight. But if you're live bait fishing, if you're fishing under a float, if you're fishing popping corks, or you're going after big fish, big inshore fish, and you want that all metal construction of the reel, there are definitely applications where this is right. And guys, this combo is going to get a lot of use on my boat. There's no doubt about it. I take a lot of people fishing with me. When I'm flats fishing on pontoon fish, because I have a 20-foot pontoon boat, I can fish 4 people very comfortably on my boat. And a lot of the people I take fishing with me don't have their own gear. And so I have what I like to call boat rods, which are basically rods that are just rigged up on the boat, ready to just hand someone and say, here, fish with this. And this is going to be an excellent boat rod for so many people on my boat. We're going to land a lot of fish on this rod. I'm convinced of it. But for me, and specifically because I have some wrist issues, I'm actually going to be working with a physical therapist to solve my wrist issues, because right now I'm worried I can't even reel in big fish. I just don't have the grip strength in my wrist. I really need lightweight rods and reels to deal with my wrist issue when I'm casting. So while I will fish with this some, and I will probably use this rod and reel, from time to time, for the most part, when I'm fishing artificials, I'm going to want to fish with something lighter. But again, it's all based on your application. I will probably have this rod set up a lot of times for live bait stuff, and I'll probably fish with it a ton when I'm live baiting, because I'm just not casting as much, and so the weight doesn't matter as much. The other thing, the one thing that I am a stickler on, right? And this is what you're going to get when you are buying a rod that's under $50, right? Is the guides. Now, I don't have any problem with the guides they put on. They're, I do like a one-piece guide. I do like that they're stainless. I think that they're going to last. I think that they're going to hold up. I like the number they put on. I was surprised that they put this many guides on a rod at this price point. But one of the things that I always do when I buy a fishing rod, and this one was sent to me, so I didn't pick this one out at the store, is I'll hold it like that, and I'll look straight down the blank, and I expect all of my guides to be perfectly aligned. And in this case, I don't think I can put it on the, I don't think I can do that on the video. But basically, in this case, these, like that's straight, these two guides and the tip are off just a little bit, just a tiny bit, right? And the reason that matters to me is casting distance is really, really important for me when I'm fishing artificials and I'm fishing in highly pressured water. So Tampa Bay and Sarasota Bay has a lot of fishing pressure. And so the fish are easily spooked because they're used to fishing boats. And so what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to maximize your casting distance. You want to get your bait as far away from the boat as possible so that you're fishing for fish that aren't spooked by your presence, you know, or less spooked by your presence. And if your guides are off just a little bit, when the line goes through those guides, it's kind of got to do a zigzag. And when the line is rubbing against the guide as it's going out, it's creating friction, and that's decreasing your casting distance. Now, by how much? Not that much, right? You know, it's not terrible, but I like my guides to be perfectly lined up. And in this case, for this rod, there's like two guides that are just slightly out of place. Guys, I don't think that is a deal killer, right? If I want to solve, like, if I'm looking at rods in the $100 to $200 range, and I fish with a lot of rods that are in the $100 to $200 range, you can bet if that rod, if a guide is out of place on a rod that costs that much, I'm going to put that rod right back on the rack, and I'm like, nope, that one is not for me. But a rod in this price class, this is not an uncommon thing, right? And it's not off by much. I mean, it's tiny. I am nitpicking problems, but guys, I want to be, you know, I don't just give, you know, shiny reviews to companies who send me stuff. Like, I really try to find things that you know, that I think matter, and I think that, you know, when the guides aren't lined up properly, that matters. How much it matters, it doesn't matter that much, but it is, you know, one little thing that I could pick on for the rod itself. Other than that, guys, I really like it. It looks good. You know, it's a sharp rod. This is not a rod that you can buy from Penn, right, without the reel. It is a rod specifically designed for this combo, for this reel. And I think it's, you know, it's pretty well balanced. I don't have any line on it, but just balancing it on my thumb, it, you know, it balances really well. And, you know, it has a pretty good, you know, responsive tip. Like I said, this is a medium light, which I love that rating for, you know, inshore fishing. You know, it's the 8 to 15 pound line class. You know, that's my rod of choice for the flats, and even bass fishing and things like that. I do a lot of freshwater fishing with rods like that, and so, like I said, I think this rod's going to get a lot of use. I don't think I'm going to have any problems with it whatsoever. I think it's going to land a lot of fish. And so I would say that, you know, you can use this with confidence. Guys, I'm going to spool this up and we're going to take it fishing. Let's go see how it does. There's a fish. Oh yeah. This one seems to be pretty nice. Let's see what it is. What is this? Oh, he's a nice sized trout. Can somebody get the net? Yep, just drop her down. Got him. Yeah, baby. That's a beauty. Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's pretty. Well, that's over 19.
Yep.
That one's definitely over.
Hey, easy, easy, easy.
Haven't got the keeper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty.
What a great catch. This was a keeper sea trout. Awesome job on this rod. So there you have it, guys. You've seen the Penn Fierce IV LE in action. Really like this rod, really like this reel. Again, guys, kind of what I would say is that if you're looking for a combo, the Penn Fierce IV LE is a pretty good one for flats fishing. I really like the reel. I think the reel is a really good, high-performing reel at its price point. And I think the rod performs pretty well as well. Depending on what you want to do, though, guys, you may want to buy the reel and then buy a different rod that's a little more high-performing for what you want to do. So for me, when I'm fishing artificials on the flats like I've got rigged up here, typically I like a rod that's a little bit taller. I like a 7'6" rod, which isn't available in the combos, which is kind of a bummer. And also I like something that's a little bit lighter and a little more sensitive, but you're going to spend money. So where the price difference between the reel itself and the combo is relatively small, if you buy the reel and then you're spending another $100 to $150, $200 on a rod, you're spending a lot more money to go fishing. So I always recommend that you look at your application, right? If you're doing a lot of live bait fishing, you're fishing under a cork, you are, throwing chunk bait out behind the boat, those kind of things where you don't really need casting distance and you really don't need, super sensitivity, to detect light strikes, those kinds of things. This rod is a fantastic rod for those applications. I think you can buy this combo without hesitation and it'll perform very well for you, right? Especially if you maintain it, rinse it off after use, that kind of thing. This rod and reel will catch a lot of fish for you. I have no doubt about that. But in certain applications, you're going to want to upgrade the rod. And that's when buying the reel is a good choice and buying a different rod makes a lot of sense. So guys, I hope that clears things up. I hope that it makes it easier for you to decide whether or not you want to buy the reel or the reel and the rod as a combo. Guys, if you have any questions about the Penn Fierce IV LE combo or anything that you've seen on the video or just fishing in general, drop some in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Or you can connect with us on our other social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X, or our website at kempoutside.com. We'd love to hear from you, so please connect with us. And guys, Kemp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you, get you and your kids outside. One of the best things you can do with kids, I believe, is to take them fishing. That's why we're doing all these gear reviews, is we want to make it easier for you to make a choice as to what gear you want to take for your family when you're out there fishing. And guys, I get it. Fishing gear is expensive, and when you're trying to outfit an entire family, it can get really expensive really fast. So that's why we're doing these reviews of gear in all different types of price points so that you can select gear in the budget that's right for you. So definitely keep all of that in mind. And that's kind of maybe where combos make a whole lot of sense, is that you can get the rods and reels all together so that if you're buying multiple to outfit a family, you kind of know what you're getting. But if you have any questions, again, drop some in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and ring that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos. We got a lot of fishing content coming here in 2025. We're doing a lot of gear reviews, a lot of gear reviews. Freshwater gear, saltwater gear, stuff you can use in both tackle bags, rods, reels, all kinds of stuff. We're taking fishing trips. We're going to be doing a bunch of fishing trips all over the country this summer, fishing in Georgia, fishing in Minnesota, fishing here in Florida, hopefully some other places too. I don't know. You never know where the road takes me. So hopefully we're going to be doing a lot of fishing in a lot of places. So if you like fishing content, definitely hang out here. Also, guys, we do a lot of camping gear reviews. We do camping videos, hiking videos, campground reviews, all kinds of outside gear content and outside adventure content. So if you like that kind of stuff, I hope that you'll make Kemp Outside one of the places you camp out. And guys, as always, thanks for watching. It means the world to me. We'll see you next time.